Oh, oh, hi. Hello. Let me organize myself here. I got papers, I got feet, I got glasses, I got sneakers on the feet, I got glasses on the eyes. Everything is in proportion to its size, let's say. I'm not sure what that means either. So, hello. It's been uh it's been a while since I sat here and decided I was going to read public domain poetry. And I got no excuses for that. I did myself no favors because my goal is to do 10,000 videos of reading public domain poetry. And I'm going to bring this poetry to the internet in a vocal way. That's my goal to verbalize the words of great authors that are no longer taught regularly in academia. And I'm going to do this. And I really don't have any, valid excuse for, not doing it for the last, I guess it's been 5 weeks now or so. Bill's, gotten into music. He's just thinking about what he would like to listen to, but he really can't do very much with it because his ears are full of plaster. But he's going to be perusing my stack of CDs that just sit there because they're in the way everywhere else in the room. So he's going to do that, and I'm going to be over here reading public domain poetry. And I don't really want to get into details about where I've been for the last month or so. Um, I'll say it relates to this event that happened to me many, many, many years ago now. Many years ago, and it's hard to really explain how shocking the moment was, but it really, really was a very eventful event. Um, it relates to this. It happened many years ago. I was asleep. I'm sure I was asleep. I'm sure I wasn't dreaming. I might have been dreaming, but I doubt I was dreaming. I don't think I had dreams like I was in the Sudan or anything, and I was just sweating, and my clothes is all sticking to me, and it's hot and it's sweaty, and then this like big Doberman pincher just sort of with wings started flying in the desert heat and came down and just picked me up with like talons for paws or paws for talons, and I get whisked away, and I'm being carried, and I can see the Sudan leave me behind, and I'm thinking I can't feel my feet or I can't feel the ground. I feel the hot air blowing in my face and this dog slobbering breath over my head, and I'm flying and being carried, and the dog just transports me in just seconds or minutes, or it might have been like a few hours, to the top of the Pyrenees Mountains, and I don't have a coat. And the moment before I freeze to death, I wake up. I didn't have a dream like that. No, I didn't have a dream like that at all because I didn't have any frame of reference for such a dream. I didn't know what the Sudan desert was, or what the Sudan means, or I didn't confuse the Sudan with a sedan chair. I didn't have any point of reference. I didn't know these things. I was very young, very young. And as I said, this all relates to what's been going on for the last 5 weeks. And over time, that moment has stuck with me because of how shocking it was. And to this day, I'm very ambivalent about it. Very ambivalent. Especially on cloudy days like this, because it's always cloudy when I make these videos. It's just cloudy. Cloudy is cloudy. So I was asleep. No dreaming. No point of reference. No big Dobermans or anything. No Sudans or no Pyrenees Mountains. No coats. No freezing. No sweating. Nothing. And from this black deep sleep, there was this giant. Just it was like for a moment it was like an explosion of light and noise, and there's this all these horrible fluorescent lighting. That harsh white light. If I One thing I always hated and resented about school was the lighting. I didn't mind the other students. I didn't mind the teachers. I didn't mind what I was being taught. I hated the lighting. The lighting was just mean. That harsh fluorescent lighting is just everybody looks kind of gray under that white light. It's just oh the darkness and the whiteness and the light. It's just not a good feeling. And I was exposed to this fluorescent light at a very young age, and I remember being felt like being whisked away. And for a moment, felt I saw a gray table and all these white, bright lights and the sound of what must have been. It could have been. Now I would describe it as the sound of dozens of air conditioners going full blast, and I'm standing right next to them. It's just deafening noise, but not overly deafening. I mean, I didn't go deaf. Deafening, as in the exaggerating verb of deafening. No actual deafness occurred. It was just a feeling of loudness. Really loud, and I didn't know at the time that for the rest of my life it wouldn't just be horrible, harsh white fluorescent lights and the sound of dozens of air conditioners in my ears. I wouldn't know that at the time. So I don't know. I think I started to cry. I mean, I must have really been crying. I mean, I was young. I mean, if you're young, you're allowed to cry, right? I mean, Bill doesn't cry, but I cry. I'd be terrified if Bill started crying. I would wonder what was wrong with me. I mean, sometimes it might get him wet with the window open, but that's not crying. That's not even sweating. But that moment, and I can only describe that moment as the start of my life. I experienced life over the last 5 weeks, as I am experiencing life at this very moment. And I can understand now why I cried then. I didn't know it was not going to always be that way. I didn't know it was going to be like, soft, warm sunset light, or music. I didn't know anything about music. I mean, like Bill's looking at some music there. I mean, some people might describe that music as the sound of dozens of air conditioners going off at once. I wouldn't, because that's why they're there in the first place. But life is no excuse for my delay, and as I said, I'm not doing myself any favors here. And if my voice seems a little, you know, a little, it's because it's kind of, stuffy, and it's gray as ever. One of these days, I'm going to do one of these videos when it's not gray. It's going to be nighttime. Anyway, poems. Oh, I'm going to just, explain again what I'm doing. I'm reading public domain poetry. I'm bringing public domain poetry into the verbal sphere here. I am channeling the professor whose name I don't remember, who I had in college. Who I remember his teaching style. It was about 30% instruction and educational, and about 70% of rambling. So if I do a lot of rambling, it's because I'm channeling that guy. Um, we all had a that guy in our past, um, and I'm some other guy. I prefer to be known that way because there's always somebody else doing stuff like this. Anyway, poems. Hear them? That's the words of legends. If you heard words not spoken, there they are. These words are not spoken yet. Oh, I'm prepared this time too. I'm prepared. I have 3 books with me. Um, I'm not French, so I'm going to call it Roget's Thesaurus. Some say Roger, but that makes me think of like some kind of red color or something, like rouge. I don't know why I thought that. The new Roget's Thesaurus in dictionary form, edited by Norman Lewis. So I'm going to be relying on old thesauruses to help me deal with some of the more challenging words in here. I still may not, pronounce them particularly right, but hey, I've never been taught these things, and I'm reading many of them or all of them for the first time right here. And frankly, I'm looking at this thesaurus right now, and it's not really helping me very much. I mean, simultaneousness. Who doesn't know that? I'm not going to run across that in a poem. And if I did it, it wouldn't rhyme very well, would it? Simultaneousness for the ridiculousness of the. That's not a very good poem. That sounds like something E. Cummings might have written. Displease, displeasure. This is, not going to be very helpful. I'm going to look at the other one. The other one's even older. The Roget's Pocket Thesaurus from. Oh, if you can see this book. Oh, this book. Oh my lordy. There you go. You look at that book. Eaten. It's. I think mice got at it. I'm not going to use that. I'm just going to sit it over there. You just stare at that. Where am I? Edward Smyth or Smith Jones. I'm going to continue with Edward Smyth or Smith Jones because I got a lot of Edward Smyth and Smith Jones, and I really liked Edward Smyth and Smith Jones when I read them. I did not like Hilaire Belloc. Belloc didn't do anything for me, but I am going to have to read more Belloc at some point because there's about 40,000 public domain poems out there, and he's got a bunch of them. And I think at some point I might read some public domain short stories because I've really had one in my head, and it's haunted me for many years. I had to do in my pursuit for my master's in English, which I never got. Actually, I think this was before that. This was in pursuit of my bachelor's in English, which I did get. I had to read The Purloined Letter by Edgar Allan Poe, and I faked it. I didn't read it. I just sort of went along with everybody's comments during the lectures, and I based a report based on what they were saying. I skipped over segments, and I managed to get a good grade anyway. So I'm going to have to be reading The Purloined Letter to make up for that because I felt guilty about it after all these years, and I'm not going to blame life for that. But that was an example of laziness, which is a part of life too. But I digress a lot when I do this. So, put nothing in another's way, just as I did when I did not read The Purloined Letter in detail in college. To my everlasting shame. Oh, I have nightmares about that now. You know, I'm sure people get these nightmares. I'm not the only one. For years, it was the lost locker combination in school. I mean, I, I think part of the brain is, just letting go of that information. And before it lets it go, there's a nightmare about it. And in my case, it was a bitter, violent nightmare of pain and fear. I mean, not violent in any like the, aggressive sense. It was just like a such horrible letdown inside. It was just, no, violent isn't even the word then. That's not a good description of that. Adjectives. Yeah, it was just a terrible, terrible, shameful letdown. I really let myself down when I forgot, didn't read the Purloined Letter. But what I was doing when I was forgetting my locker combinations in school, I think you have like a dream where you're forgetting them. Like you're in the school in the past and you were trying to get into your locker, but you can't do it. And it never occurs to you to, get the janitor to get the key to open it up for you. And they get the combination for you or nothing. You don't have that sense or time really to do it. And I think your brain is realizing you let that go, that knowledge. And in that moment, you're terrified. And it comes out in your subconscious in your sleep. They always say the best psychoanalyst for anybody is the person themselves. And I just psychoanalyzed myself. I analyzed my own dreams. I didn't have to read a single book about it. And if I did, I'd probably treat it like the Purloined Letter in, when I was trying to get my bachelor's degree. Because I don't take that stuff too seriously. But now, because I did not read the Purloined Letter, I have the dream, and it's a dreading dream where I'm in school in college and I am well into the semester and I am not taking the class at all serious. And I know there's a 20-page report I got to do. It hasn't been started yet. It hasn't been researched yet. I haven't even begun the freaking title page. Nothing. And I got days left and I got to do the final. That dream haunts me, even though I got my bachelor's. But I didn't get my master's, but I did try. I put something in my way, but here is Put Nothing in Another's Way by Edward Smyth or Smith Jones. I say that because it's Smyth, but I already explained that. So, put nothing in another's way, who's plodding on through life, but fill each heart with joy each day, with peace instead of strife. So then let not a missent word, or thought, or act, or deed be by our weaker brother heard, to cause his heart to bleed. But put nothing in another's way, it clear and ample leave. For words and actions day by day, life's great example weave. 'Tis then not meet that we should think that we are solely free in manners, dress, and food, or drink, or fulsome revelry. Put nothing in another's way. Just learn the Christian part to let a holy sunny ray shine in thy brother's heart. Help him to bear his load of care. His soul get edified. 'Twas only in the soul's welfare that Jesus bled and died. Put nothing in another's way. Ye who are sent to teach, no dark cloud cast across the day. Ye who the gospel preach, ye twain must see the truth aright, with joy and peace and love. For in our souls shines forth the light from Jesus Christ above. Put nothing in another's way, beloved Christian friends. Are on through your toils and cares, still pray till life's fleet journey ends. When in when at the resurrection dawn, eternal life is given, we'll get our harp, our robe, our crown. The starlight crown of heaven. Ah, it's done. Well, that wasn't quite the poem I thought it would be. I'll read it again just to read it again. It's a it's a poem. Put nothing in another's way. I guess it means mind your own business, and that's the way to heaven. That's a good message. I like that. Mind your own business, and you'll go to heaven. Done. I can do that. I'm doing that right now. See the cat's tail there? I don't even know if that's in the frame or not. Anyway, that's a cat. Put nothing in another's way, who's plodding on through life, but fill each heart with joy each day, with peace instead of strife. So then let a missent word, or thought, or act, or deed, be by our weaker brother heard, to cause his heart to bleed. Put nothing in another's way, it clear and ample leave, for words and actions day by day, life's great example weave. 'Tis then not meet that we should think that we are solely free in manners, dress, in food or drink, or fulsome revelry. Put nothing in another's way. Just learn the Christian path to let a holy sunny ray shine in thy brother's heart. Help him to bear his load of care, his soul get edified. 'Twas only for the soul's welfare that Jesus bled and died. Put nothing in another's way. Ye who are sent to teach, no dark cloud cast across the day. Ye who the gospel preach, ye twain must set the truth aright, with joy and peace and love. For in your souls shines forth the light from Jesus Christ above. Put nothing in another's way, beloved Christian friends. Are on through your toils and cares still pray, till life's fleet journey ends. When at the resurrection dawn eternal life is given, we'll get our harp, our robe, our crown, the starlight crown of heaven. Yes. So do right to people. That's the Christian way, as this guy says. All right. Fulsome. What does fulsome mean? I didn't get that word. Fulsome. 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 L H. There's a weird word. Felicitate. I know what that word means. No, that's not that. No, I don't know what I'm talking about. You see what happens when a cat distracts you like that? That cat's 19 years old, by the way. He's part of a duo of male cats. His sibling was named Shelley, and his name is Percy. Percy Shelley. I didn't get a third one because I couldn't get one named Bisque for the middle name. Fulsome, fulfillment, fullness. What a worthless book! It's not here. Nah, I'll find it somewhere some other day. Anyway, that was put nothing in another's way. And this is Life in a Dream by Edward Smyth Jones. Um, I want to just point out that at some point, the poems are going to become very, very, very dense. Very dense. So dense that I'm glad I quit smoking many years ago when I did, because I don't think I would have the lung power to actually read them. They're very dense. I got them here on the other side. I am not going to subject you or me to these yet, but there is one that goes at least 15 pages. I'm just warning you. I'll let you know when the video happens. It's not today. This is Easy Ones. It's going to be a short lecture of Edward Smyth Jones, or maybe it's going to be a long one because there's a lot of Edward Smyth Jones. I really like Edward Smyth Jones. I like the message of put nothing in another's way, but I didn't really enjoy the poem all that much. I mean, it rhymed well and all, but this is not a long one. Life in a Dream by Edward Smyth Jones. There is nothing so sweet as our life in our dreams when we soar far on fancy's swift wing. For a thing in our dreams is all that it seems, and the songs are so sweet that we sing. Ah, the sun shines the brightest, the stars twinkle lightest, at the moon and her silvery beams. There is nothing so gay as the life in our dreams, with its joy and its laughter and mirth. For the pleasure that teems is far greater one deems than any he finds in the earth. There are homes are our natal, and nothing is fatal in the beautiful land of our dreams. There is nothing so bright as the life in our dreams, far away from earth's trickery chance. There is there, the music's wild screams and the wine in its streams are both lost in the song and the dance. Oh, our joy in the sweetest and life is completest. Ah, the life in our beautiful dreams. There is nothing seen as a life in our dreams. When the dove to his mate softly coos in the grooves about the streams, in the moon's silvery beams. Oh, I'm getting into this one. Where the swain soft his maid gently woos, there the swains are the rarest and maids are the fairest, and their love is as true as it seems. And it just ends. What a letdown. I was really getting into that too. It only really got going for me until about halfway through the third verse. Maybe he got called away or something. I don't know. Maybe life happened to this guy too, and he just kind of just got, sidetracked. I'll read it again better this time. I'll try. I'll have a sip of cold black coffee first. And I'll clear my throat. I'll step away when I do this. That's better. Doesn't that sound better? Yes, it does. Thank you very much. Life in a Dream by Edward Smyth Jones. There's nothing so sweet as our life in our dreams, when we soar far on fancy's swift wing. For a thing in our dreams is all that it seems, and the songs are so sweet that we sing. Ah, the sun shines the brightest, and the stars twinkle lightest, at the moon in her silvery beams. There is nothing so gay as the life in our dreams, with its joy and its laughter and mirth. For the pleasure that teems is far greater one deems than any finds in the earth. There are homes in our natal, and nothing is fatal. In the beautiful land of our dreams, there is nothing so bright as the life in our dreams, far away from earth's trickery chance. There is the music's wild screams, and the wine in the streams are both long in the song and the dance. Oh, our joy is the sweetest, and life is completest. Ah, the life in our beautiful dreams. There's nothing serene as the life in our dreams, when the dove into his mate softly coos in the grooves by the streams and the moon's silver beams, where the swain oft his maid gently woos. There the swains are the rarest, and maids are the fairest, and their love is as true as it seems. Just ends so abruptly. It was just my perception of it. What does that poem say? He really likes his life and his dreams, but is it the subconscious dreams, like the dream I was talking about, where I get carried away and I'm sweating through my clothes at the Sudan, and I get carried away by a giant flying Doberman pitcher and get taken to the top of the pyramids where I freeze to death because I don't have a coat? No. I think he's talking about like an idolized version of life that he's dreaming about. You know, maybe he was like in on the Pyrenees freezing to death, and he was having this wonderful time thinking about a better life somewhere else where he wasn't so cold. That's how I see that. He was dreaming about better days. Who doesn't dream about better days, you know? You think Bill doesn't? Bill's just glad he's not in Philadelphia. It's always closed to Bill when it's Philadelphia to him. That's mostly because it's the only skit I know he ever did. Where was I? Behind the Bars by Edward Smyth Jones. Behind the Bars. Now, that could be prison bars. That could be the bar. It could be like a lawyer thing. You don't pass the bar, you're behind the bar. That's not right. Um, the bar. Liquor. People go to the bar and the bartender is behind the bar. I was at a rock concert once, and a real wild show. I'm not going to say the name of the band, but it was a band known for playing, decent size arenas, 15, 20,000. But they were playing a nightclub show. And this was 14, 15 years into their career. They're pretty well established. And they started out in nightclubs, and when you start out in your nightclubs, no one knows who you are. So they're pretty empty. But this band is established. They already, toured like Japan and, Europe and all that. And they had, major albums. I think one, two, like seven maybe by then. Um, and they were playing in a nightclub show. And nightclubs have about capacity of maybe 1,500 if they're lucky. I think there might have been at most 1,200 people there, and it was packed, jam tight. And they don't really have these places anymore because of fires in the past. Since then, in certain places, and insurance went down. But a loud aggressive band like that used to arenas. They had crowd surfers, and crowd surfing in a nightclub means going to places where you really shouldn't go with your body being carried, and these poor people are being carried over the bar. And it's unfortunate for them because once you went over the bar, the bouncers just picked you up and kicked you right out. No remorse at all. I mean, crowd surf if you want, but don't go behind the bar. I mean, that's where the money's made. That's where the money's kept too. I think cash money on hand there. I paid for my ticket already. And I don't drink, so I don't even know why I brought that up. But that's behind the bar at the nightclub. I don't think this poem has anything to do about that, but it doesn't matter. It's how I interpret it, right? Right. I read these things as though I am sitting somewhere, no internet, picking up a book, and I'm reading poems. I'm not all that interested in the author. I don't care when it was written. If it sounds good, it's a good poem. If it's well written, it's a good poem. If it has good imagery, it's a good poem. Textual. Textual analysis, not really. I don't go over that. That's something that is not necessary to me. It's something that's become a common thing in academia, and I'm not going to lecture them about doing that, but it's not how I think poems or literature should be read. You don't need a lens to look at something. You use your own experience and you decide based on what you're reading how it feels to you. That is not encouraged, but it's to me it's the key to appreciating and understanding literature. Now that's as serious as I'm going to get. Now, Behind the Bars by Edward Smyth Jones. I am a pilgrim far from home, a wanderer like Mars, and thought my wanderings near should come, so fixed behind the bars. I left my sunny southern home beneath the silver stars, a northward path began to roam, not seeking prison bars. I sought the higher, holier life, which never virtue mars, but fate had spun a net of strife for me behind the bars. My mother's lowly thatched roof caught my nobler senses jars, and so I seek to aid her lot, but not behind the bars. 'Tis said, forsooth, the poet learns through sufferings and wars to sing the song with deepest burns behind the prison bars. Thus I resign myself to fate, regardless of her scars, for soon she'll open wide the gate for me behind the bars. I plead to you, my fellow man, for all who wears the tars, to lend what little help you can to us behind the bars. O God, I breathe my prayer to thee, who never sinner bars. set each immortal spirit free behind these prison bars. Okay. I think he's telling me he's limited in life behind the bars. Hmm. That's one thing I also like about Edward Smyth or Smith Jones. It's pretty cut and dry, you know. I mean, no, strange, interludes about wine or anything. Pretty standard, you know, life in a dream. He's behind the bars, plays nothing in another's way. I guess he plays something in somebody's way. That's why he ended up behind bars. I don't know. I don't really want to know. I'll read it again better this time. I'll do my best. Behind the Bars by Edward Smyth or Smith Jones. I am a pilgrim far from home, a wanderer like Mars. In thought, my wanderings nearer should come, so fixed behind the bars. I left my sunny southern home beneath the silver stars. A northward path began to roam, not seeking prison bars. You gotta read it with a little more, venom in your voice. A lot of punctuation marks here, exclamation points. Exclamation points. See what happens when the cat gets around me? He just distracts me. Oh well. I've dealt with that for many years. As I said, he's 19, and he likes to come up and go down, and come up again, and go down again, and come up at once in a while, and go down. And he's deaf, so he's gonna make a lot of noise at some point, just meowing and whatever. What was I saying? There's no cat in this poem, so why am I bringing up a cat? Oh, whatever. I'll start over, and I gotta read it with more venom, like an actor. You gotta put a little more, venom in it. Because he's mad. He's behind bars. There's a lot of things he wants to do. He's frustrated. Arr, arr. Go growl a little bit. Get a little venom in there. I'm directing myself now. I am a pilgrim far from home, a wanderer like Mars, and thought my wanderings nearer should come, so fixed behind the bars. I left my sunny southern home beneath the silver stars. A northward path began to roam, not seeking prison bars. I sought the higher, holier life, which never virtue mars, but fate had spun a net of strife for me behind the bars. My mother's lowly thatched roofed cot, my nobler senses jars, and so I seek to aid her lot, but not behind the bars. 'Tis said, forsooth, the poet learns through sufferings and wars, to sing the song which deepest burns behind the prison bars. Thus I resign myself to fate, regardless of her scars, for soon she'll open wide the gate for me behind the bars. I plead to you, my fellow man, for all who wear the tars, to lend what little help you can to us behind the bars. O God, I breathe my prayer to thee, who never sinner bars. Set each immortal spirit free behind the prison bars. Arr, I sound like a pirate now. Arr, arr. Yeah, I always feel like a pirate when I read that one. Oh, I'm all piratey now. I don't want to be all piratey. This poem has nothing to do with pirates. A Bouquet by Edward Smyth or Smith Jones. A blossom pink, a blossom blue, make all there is a love so true. 'Tis fit, bethinks me, heart, my heart to move, to give it thee, sweet girl I love. Now take it, dear, this morn and wear a wreath of beauty in thy hair. Think of it, when from bliss we part, the emblem of my wooing heart. So that's when he gets out of the bar, out from behind the bars. He finds his woman and he gives her a bouquet. Yeah, I could put all these to get poems together, can't I? He put nothing in someone's way. He did. He had some nice, dreams of better days. Then he wrote a poem about being angry behind bars. Then he got out of prison and he gave his girlfriend a bouquet. See, these poems go together. I never knew that. They don't really, but you just interpret them any way you want. I just read three poems that I just put together. Totally. A Bouquet by Edward Smyth or Smith Jones. A blossom pink, a blossom blue, make all there is in love so true. 'Tis fit, methinks, my heart is to move, to give it thee, sweet girl I love. Now I'll take it, dear, this morn and wear a wreath of beauty in thy hair. Think of it, think on it, when from bliss we part, the emblem of my wooing heart. And from that, a song of thanks. She was thankful. Actually, that's nothing to do with this poem, but oh, this is the longest poem of the night here. So he's very, very thankful. And who wouldn't be? Oh, yeah. Here we go. Okay. I'm going to get a sip of black coffee first. And I'm going to be very thankful about it. Ah, yes. So thankful I'm going to have another. I'm decadent. Mm. All right. Now I'm slovenly. I'm having another sip. I suppose if I finish the coffee while I'm just sitting here, it'd be gratuitous. That's not how I say the word right. Whatever. I think my voice is already going. A Song of Thanks by Edward Smyth or Smith Jones. For the sun that shone in the dawn of spring, for the flowers which bloom and the birds that sing, for the verdant robe of the gray old earth, for her coffers filled with their countless worth, for the flocks which feed on 1,000 hills, for the rippling streams which turn the mills, for the lowering herds in the lovely vale, for the songs of gladness on the gale, from the gulf in the lakes and to the ocean's banks. Lord God of hosts, we give thee thanks for the farmer reaping his whitened fields, for the bounty which the rich soil yields, for the cooling dews and refreshing rains, for the sun which ripens the golden grains, for the beaded wheat and the fattened swine, for the stalled ox and the fruitful vine, for the tubers large and cotton white, for the kid and the lambkin frisk and blithe, for the swain. Oh, and I got a degree in English. For the swan which floats near the river banks, Lord God of hosts, we give thee thanks. For the pumpkin sweet and the yellow yam, for the corn and the beans and the sugared ham, for the plume. What is wrong with my head? I don't know. For the plum and the peach and the apple red, for the dear old press where the wine is tread, for the cock which crows at the breaking dawn, and the proud old Turk of the farmer's barn, for the fish which swam in the babbling brook, for the game which hid in the shady nooks. From the gulf and the lakes to the ocean's banks, Lord God of hosts, we give thee thanks, for the sturdy oaks and the stately pines, for the lead and the coal from the deep dark mines, from the silver ores of 1,000-fold, for the diamond bright and the yellow gold, for the river boat and the flying train, for the fleecy sail of the rolling main, for the velvet sponge and the glossy pearl, for the flag of peace which we now unfurl. From the gulf of the lakes to the ocean's banks, Lord God of hosts, we give thee thanks. From the lowly cot to the mansion fair, for the peace and plenty together stare. I hear you. For the hand which guides us from above, for thy tender mercies, abiding love, for the blessed home with its children gay, for returnings of Thanksgiving Day, for the bearing toils and the sharing cares, we lift our hearts in our songs and our prayers, from the gulf and the lakes to the ocean's banks, for God of hosts, we give thee thanks. Now, if that's not a lot of thanking, I don't know what is. That's a really long prayer. I mean, imagine, sitting down for like dinner and reading all that. I mean, it would go cold. And I understand. I can't confirm this because I wasn't there. I'm not that old, but I've heard it. People, heard it said that George Washington, the guy with the Quaker Oats hair, he used to pray before every meal and after every meal. That's a lot of praying right there. That's like people brushing their teeth after every meal. That's a lot of brushing the teeth. I mean, I respect that. I respect that kind of dedication. But the best thing about praying after a meal is you don't have to worry about it getting cold on you. It's in you. I mean, what is it wrong to pray after a meal instead of early before it? I mean, can you do that? I guess you can only do it if you already prayed before it. I don't know what the proper etiquette is anymore. I really don't. I'll learn. I guess it's subjective, though. I mean, it's a subjective thing. People can, I mean, some people just inhale their food practically. I mean, I'm like me. I go through like 3 or 4 bites before it's already down the throat. Gives me horrible indigestion. Horrible. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night. I just like, oh, I ate too fast. Ooh, I ate too fast 8 hours ago, and there it is. Ooh, what a feeling. Oh, what a feeling. 80s music. What was that song? Oh, what a feeling. Sheena Easton. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna read that one again. It's long, but it's very thankful. So it's good to be thankful and long. A Song of Thanks by Edward Smyth or Smith Jones. For the sun that shone at the dawn of spring, for the flowers which bloom and the birds that sing, for the verdant robe of the gray old earth, for her coffers filled with their countless worth, for the flocks which feed on 1,000 hills, for the rippling streams which turn the mills, for the lowing herds in the lovely vale, for the songs of gladness on the gale, from the gulf and the lakes to the ocean's banks, Lord God of hosts, we give thee thanks. From the farmer reaping his whitened fields, for the bounty which the rich soil yields, for the cooling dews and refreshing rains, for the sun which ripens the golden grains, for the beaded wheat and the fattened swine, for the stalled ox and the fruitful vine, for the tubers large and cotton white, for the kid and the lambkin frisk and blithe, for the swan which floats near the river banks, Lord God of hosts, we give thee thanks. For the pumpkin sweet and the yellow yam, excuse me. From the pumpkin sweet and the yellow yam, for the corn and beans and the sugared ham, from the plum and the peach and the apple red, from the dear old press where the wine is tread, for for the cock that crows at the breaking dawn, and the proud old Turk of the farmer's barn, for the fish which swim in the babbling brooks, for the game which hid in the shady nooks, from the gulf and the lakes to the ocean's banks, for God of hosts we give thee thanks. For the sturdy oaks and the stately pines, for the lead and the coal from the deep dark mines, from the silver ores of 1,000 fold, from the diamond bright and the yellow gold, for the river boat and the flying train, for the fleecy sail of their rolling mane, for the velvet sponge and the glossy pearl, for the flag of peace which we now unfurl, from the gulf of the lake and the lakes to the ocean's banks, so for Lord God of hosts, we give thee thanks, for the lowly cot and the mansion fair, for the peace and plenty together share, for the hand which guides us from above, for thy tender mercies, abiding love, for the blessed home with its children gay, for returnings o' Thanksgiving Day, for the bearing toils and the sharing cares. We lift up our hearts and our songs and our prayers. From the gulf and the lakes to the ocean's banks, Lord God of hosts, we give thee thanks. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Edward Smyth or Smith Jones. One of these days, someone's going to tell me your name, and I won't have to qualify it with or Smith Jones. Someday. It's not going to happen, is it? Oh, they say someday never comes. You know that? I don't know who says it other than, Creedence Clearwater Revival. It's probably one of the only good songs on that album that's called Mardi Gras. Um, it's a nice song. It's kind of sad. It's, all pop songs have an element of sadness to them, The good ones. The good ones. The Beatles were masters at that. Pop music with an element of sadness. It could be the tone of the lyrics, or it could be something in the melody is kind of like a little down. That's good pop music because it's relatable. I mean, think about Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. I mean, that's a very sunny title. It's a mouthful. I mean, that's like a poem in itself. But A Day in the Life is a very sad song. It's got like a dark feeling to it. I mean, it's got dark lyrics in it, and it's a quality pop song. And why is pop music a little depressing? That's the kind of thing people are going to look back on societies and wonder why they had that. They say that if you wanted to study like a ancient time, a time before you were born, you study the children books, the children fables, and get the tone of how they are. These stories, like Little Red Riding Hood. It's a very dark tale, so it was a very dark time. I mean, wolves and eating people. It's a very dark tale. I don't remember where I learned that. It sure was a history class, but it's the one thing you study is you study the children fables of like the period, the context, because what they're telling their kids is a reflection of themselves, and it's like a dark story, a cautionary tale. It could be a cautionary tale, a dark cautionary tale that has absolutely nothing to do with what I've been reading so far, has it? Nothing at all. Sorry about that. What's the use? By Edward Smyth or Smith Jones. What is the use? I don't know. This is when it looks that gray out. Do you really want to ask a question? What's the use? Ugh. Look at that thesaurus. Why do I keep that? It's soiled with I don't even know what kind of coffee that was spilled on that. I don't know how many decades ago. I mean, the cover is part missing. It's repaired with packing tape, and it's been hand me down through I think like 7 generations at this point. I have no idea. That book is just I don't know. If I could go back in time, I would buy a new copy of that. I wouldn't care about anything else. Curing this, fixing that. No, I want a new copy of that exact thesaurus book from 19. Who knows? I wouldn't even want to go back and buy like stock or anything. Just want that book. Give me that book back, brand new. Look how depressing that is. What's the use? By Edward Smyth or Smith Jones. I gotta look that name up. Maybe AI can tell me how to say that right. Oh, whatever. Oh, what is living but moving about? You buoyed. We have to start over. Buoyed, not Boyd. Buoyed. Like buoy, like those things that float in the water, the marks where things are in the water. I'm gonna have to read that again. What's the Use by Edward Smyth or Smith Jones. I got so sidetracked I don't even know where I am anymore. Oh, what a living but moving about. Oh, what is living but I gotta start over again. Oh, what is living but moving about? Buoyed by buoyed up with hope and crushed down by doubt. What is the drought of breath we harp on him as life? Naught but a sip of peace, a cup full of strife. What's the use? What's in the place we call our home, sweet home, naught but a span of space where our one may roam. Night's pitchy corner, a hard crust of bread, cot for your feeble limbs, pillow your head. What's the use? Now it is loving, but acting a fool. Well, I can relate to that. And what is quitting? Producing a rule. Break short the flight of Dan Cupid's swift dart. Aim, Dan Cupid, aim at the core of the innocent heart. What's the use? Say what is merry, but getting in trouble. Trifling way joy, while your sorrow is double. What end is your state? Oh, everyone who's been in a broken relationship or divorce can relate to this one. Say what is marrying but getting in trouble, trifling way joy while your sorrow is double. What then is your state of my friend after you've wed? Not but a vial, a wrath poured upon your head. What's the use? Ah, what is batching but living a man? Batching, sporting and sleeping, just running his plan. Come when he's ready and go when he please. Brian's full of joy, his heart is at ease. See, that's the use. Okay, clearly I have to read this one again. I like it. It's choppy. I'm in a choppy mood now. This is a great breakup poem. And poems are like songs. This is the breakup song of poems. Oh, I gotta get all, I gotta get all, let me put a bad relationship and past in mind here. Let's see. She had psychotic blackouts. Oh, crazy parents. Crazy parents. One had no leg. Lost a leg in a DWI. Oh, okay, I'm ready. What's the use? Oh, what is living but moving about? Buoyed up with hope and crushed down by doubt. What is the drought of breath we harp on as life? Naught but a sip of peace, a cup full of strife. What's the use? What is the place we call our home? Sweet home, in quotes. Naught but a span of space where one may roam. Night's pitchy corner, a hard crust of bread. Cot for your feeble limbs, pillow your head. What's the use? Now what is living but acting a fool? What no? Wow, now what is loving but acting a fool? And what is quitting, producing a rule? Break short of flight on Dane Cupid's swift dart, aimed at the core of an innocent heart. What's the use? Say what's is merry but getting in trouble, trifling way joy while your sorrow is double. What then is your state, my friend, after you've wed? Naught but a vial of wrath poured upon your head. What's the use? Ah, what is batching but living a man, sporting and sleeping, just running his plan. Come when he's ready and go when he please. Brian's full of joy, his heart is at ease. See, that's the use. Oh, I agree. I'm going to read that last verse again. Ah, what is batching but living a man, sporting and sleeping, just running his plan. Come when he's ready and go when he please. Brian's full of joy, his heart is at ease. See, that's the use. Yes, I agree. That's the poem I'm going to read on my own when I'm not recording it. I'm going to put a star on that one. Ah, what's the use? What's the use? Oh, to be a cat. What's the use? Oh, what's the use? I'm going to say that all night now. I'm going to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning screaming, what's the use? Oh, yes, that's what's going to happen. Well, that's a whole array of emotions from Edward Smyth Jones there. And now we have a somewhat idea of how old this guy is. This is to JSB. No explanation of who that is, but we don't need to know because it's on Seeing Her December 25th, 1904, after 2 years travel. And in 1904 traveling, that might have been, I don't know, a couple hundred miles. Take fair maid these simple lines from my pen. Think of strolling neath the pines which have been. Long and lonesome were the days we were apart, but may love now have her sways, bind her heart to heart. Or main to isle and back to land have I been beheld on either hand. a maiden queen, but none with captivating charms like thine, none of to nestle in her arms, love of mine, charms unto thee God gave to banish strife, to glorify and save one sweet life. Take this, dear, before we part from this bliss to us, but love flowing from my heart, thine to kiss. Oh, what's the use? Oh, what's the use? Percy, what's the use? Well, you can't hear me. If they're reading a jilted poem like that, I have to read this. See, I don't organize these things at all. I just let her rip, like a fart. To JSB by Edward Smyth Jones. On seeing her December 25th, 1904, after 2 years' travel. Spirit of Christmas is behind this poem, He's Spirit of Christmas, 2 years of longing and Spirit of Christmas, Christmas stuff. Take, fair maid, these simple lines from my pen. Think of strolling neath the pines which have been. Long and lonesome were the days we were apart, but may love now have her sways, bind heart to heart. O'er main to isle and back to land have I been beheld on either hand. A maiden queen, but none with captivating charms like thine. None to nestle in her arms, love of mine. Charms unto thee God gave to banish strife, to glorify and save one sweet life. Take this, dear, before we part from this bliss till 'tis but love flowing from